where'd you get that damn suit from?
or a hat or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
shoes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
We need some theme music. Some theme. Here she comes, walking down the street.
Hello, and thank you so much for being here today. You are watching the Intervene Show with Arlena Jones, Leon Jones, and Sheila Lipsey. God bless you all for taking their time today to be here with us. I'm going to pass the mic to Sheila and let her further introduce herself and her expertise in all the hats that this lovely lady wears.
Well, thank you, Arlena. Once again, my name is Sheila Lipsey. I'm a native of Kalamazoo, born and raised, graduate of Western Michigan University. I've spent 36 years in business. I know I don't look that old, but and most of that was in human resources. I have a background. What I'm pursuing now is a life and leadership business. I stepped away from my corporate role last year in February, so I've been working on building out my life and leadership coaching and consulting business. So supporting individuals in meeting them where they are and taking them to where they want to go. That's the great advantage of having a coach. I know, Arlena, you told me that Leon was like, what is a life coach? It's having someone in your corner who's solely there. They listen to you, look to support you in your success. Once again, taking you from where you are today to where you want to go.
Well, since she passed it to you, Leon,
How'd she know our hats?
because I
We
told
talked.
we were gossiping about yeah, like so
We
let's
were
just
talking about
yeah,
you.
like let's just the stereotype women were gossiping.
Because you were a life coach yourself.
I am a life
Are you
coach.
still a life coach?
Yes.
Okay, so therefore you guys can.
That's one of the things that we connected other than
Absolutely.
clothes.
Yeah.
And tennis.
And all other things. Tennis.
Yes, golf actually now,
Golf,
yeah,
yep,
yeah.
got you.
Our
Golf.
recreational habits and hobbies.
Have you found it difficult to like mentor someone that's kind of like confused or like got like a lot of complications with their decision making and so forth, or were you able to let them, or were you able to help them maneuver their decisions to their proper topic or whatever desire?
So that is part of coaching. We all, I think most of us, I won't generalize, but most of us spend a lot of time in our heads, navigating, trying to figure it out. And that is the advantage of having a coach, is helping you to get out of your head and navigate some of those difficult conversations, decisions, having that support person that's not solely tied to the outcome. It's really about you as an individual, where you want to go, and those things that are going on in your head, and helping you unpack to then focus on what it is you truly want. Oftentimes we think we know what we want, but having someone asking you the type of questions to really get you thinking and taking a deep dive into your head space and sometimes your heart space to help you navigate where you are and where it is you want to go.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
Where would you say, from your perspective, is different from being like a therapist versus a life coach versus a counselor?
So with a therapist, I'll do perhaps therapist and counselor. Therapists in particular tend to want to, as I say, dig in that bag of your past to help you figure out why you are the way you are, or why you're experiencing where you are. As a coach, I rarely, if ever, will be in the past with you. My clients have labeled me as a presence coach because it's really about where you are today and where you want to go. And so, yes, your past is your past. And oftentimes, if my clients are bringing that up, I will ask them something like, well, that happened in the past. How is that serving you today? To bring them back to the present. And, or ask them, how is that supporting you in getting you to where you want to go? The sessions are goal focused, so a requirement is that my clients come with a topic. We may not always stick to that, so it's coming with a topic, the goal, whatever they want to accomplish in that session. It could be personal, professional, it's just supporting them and working through what they have going on in life, in their heads, bodies, whatever. You have a question?
I see you've been doing this for not 36 years. You just
No, I've been in business, working, if you will, corporate world. I've worked for small businesses, medium sized, a couple of Fortune 500 organizations as an HR professional. So that's 26 years in HR. That's where I built my career, had success, did very well. And my coaching clients oftentimes referring me, I'm working with professionals who are also working. So when I was working full time, being present in the job that I had, it was hard for me to navigate my calendar with professionals, their calendars. So I'm encouraging my clients to take a leap of faith and gamble on myself. So several of my clients called me out and they're like, Sheila, I want to refer people, but it's hard for them to even get time on my calendar. So I decided to take a leap of faith, as I said, last year. And stepped away from the VP of HR role that I had with a local company to take a leap of faith and take a gamble on myself.
So what major vision that you've witnessed that came to this conclusion? Did you have like a bright star, a comet flew by night, or you just like came to the conclusion all at once, or was this an evolving type of journey
That's a great question. It evolved over time. I realized as an HR professional very early on in my career that people within the organizations that I work for trusted me to come, and oftentimes I think of someone early on in my career, she came to me and just said she didn't want to work at the organization anymore. And I think a lot of HR people were like, no, don't go, because then I have to fill the role, it creates work. So I leaned into it and I said, oh, well, that's unfortunate. First I asked, what can I do to support her to stay? Because she's a very, very talented individual. And then she just said she wanted to move on. So I said, well, what can I do to support you in exiting the business? I looked to connect her with people based on where she wanted to be, where she wanted to go. And so I found that people trusted me, indicated I was a great listener. In essence, I was coaching people, which I believe is part of HR, to be their best selves, do what it is they want to do and not look to hold them back. So in probably about 2019, I had been talking for years about getting my coach certification and had reached out to multiple organizations. Well, did research. I really hadn't reached out to any organizations. I believe my husband eventually got tired of me talking about HR and the company I was working for then, and I told him one day, he was like, you know what, you keep talking about doing this, and give me that list. And he called several of the organizations, and he told me the first company that calls me back, that's the certification organization that I was going to go with. And we were actually on vacation in northern Michigan, and my phone rings and it's an area code from New Jersey. I'm like, I don't know anybody from New Jersey. He said, that's the company. So I answered and talked and then shelved it because I was, had these feelings of, I don't know, this is a huge gamble. What am I going to do with this? Do I have time? Around that same time, my oldest brother was diagnosed with lung cancer. So I just had all these things going on, but ultimately it was what in coaching I've been trained to call the gremlin, just creating seeds of doubt. And my husband was there to say, if you want to do it, we can afford to do it. And one day I called him at work and said, I'm going to sign up for the certification course. And he said, okay. And I said, okay, you're not going to try and talk me out of this? And he's like, no, tired of talking about it. You've been talking about doing this for years. Do it. So I made the call and went through the program. And it truly helped me even in my work environments, because the tools as an HR professional with my training there and my degree from Western in human resource. There are tools that I picked up along the way with that education, various training. The additional tools I was able to add to my toolbox from the coach certification program helped me. I gained more confidence, showed up as my authentic self in work environments, asking for promotions, additional pay. And from the time I got certified as a coach, my income doubled. So with my clients, it's a similar thing. Most of them, particularly as professionals, it's about how to grow in their careers, within their work environment, more money. So I show up to support them. So I walk in that coaching does work. And there are a lot of coaches out there. I think I saw a number recently that there are about 33,000 coaches worldwide.
Did you say 33,000?
Yeah. Coaches. And it vary, some will specialize in whatever calls them, their niche, if you will. I don't necessarily look to specialize. Most of my clients are women who are mid-career looking to grow. So with my background in business and as a coach, I've been able to support a lot of those clients to meet their goals, particularly growing within the career space and also personally in their relationships with spouses, family members, all of that. Good questions.
Okay. I would like to say a shout out, especially to your husband for supporting you. Thanks. What's your husband's name?
His name is Gail.
Thanks, Gail. Hey, thanks for supporting your girl, your wife, and for all you guys who got wives and girlfriends, support on their journey to go through whatever they want to do. So don't try to be a hater. Don't try to stop them or hey, don't think it's a good idea. You can be constructive criticism, but also be supportive.
Yep.
So therefore I support. Thanks, Gail, man, for looking out for girls.
Thank you.
Our girl Sheila.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Thank you. Yes, he definitely does.
That's good. Great to have support.
It is. And that's what a coach does.
Yeah. Okay.
Shows up to support.
Now, nothing. You don't do any like sports or anything. You just do basically. Do you do sports coaching at all, or
What do you mean by sports coaching?
like tennis, golf, swimming, hockey, or football? You just do this basically just.
Coaching is so the coaching I do as a life and leadership coach is coaching individuals. So I can coach athletes. It's important not to confuse a coach in sports with what a life leadership type of coach will do. Because it's, once again, with someone who coaches athletes for sports, wins, all of that, how they show up is different than how I will show up, because there's still an outcome that they expect of that athlete. And with my clients, they're determining what they want that outcome to be, and I'm there to support them, guide them. Once I've been telling a couple of people I'm putting myself out of business because I'm supporting clients, and then they accomplish the goals that they want to, and then we have this conversation. It's a check-in where I say, hey, when we started this journey together, you said you wanted to be a director in a startup organization and be located in Minnesota. That's actually a true story of one of my clients. She's been a client for about 4 years, but initially when we started, that's exactly the goals she set for herself. And within 2 years, she had accomplished that. So when I checked in with her after 2 years, it's like, hey, I'm pulling this out. I had notes. I said, do you remember saying this and all of this? And she's like, yes. And I said, well, you are there. What does it look like for our relationship now? And she said, it's been awesome. And she wanted to continue with me, but in a as needed basis. So that client, as I said, I've had her for 4 years. She was a referral to me. She'll occasionally send me a text message saying, hey, Sheila, do you have time? She needs me. And I go, you don't need me. You want me. But yes, I have time for you. And we'll work through whatever it is she has going on. So how does that help with a
That helped very
differentiation?
much.
Okay. Okay.
Were there any specific topics that you kind of want to touch on that you wanted to inform the community or whoever's listening or watching our show? Any tidbits that you're like, this is what I want, you to know about me, my business, or for themselves that they can take in consideration to consider a life coach?
The one thing that stands out for me, particularly with clients and even myself, it's the baggage we carry. As I said, there's a tendency, like when we talk about therapists, they'll dig in your past. So with clients, it's, if you think of wearing a backpack and everything you put in there and how it can weigh you down, if you start to unpack some of those things from your past that are truly holding you back from being present or moving into the future, it's start to unpack that and leave that behind and see how you feel. The work that I do with clients, particularly those who are at that mid-career wanting to move forward, oftentimes they're bringing up concerns of something they may have done or said in the past that's holding them back. And when I say, well, what position were you in then? And like, well, I was just entry level, as a supervisor. And I say, well, you're a director today. How likely is it that what you said 5 years ago or whatever is holding you back? It's that baggage, how we can limit ourselves. So the advice to folks listening, thinking about the baggage you carry. What's holding you back from really accomplishing what it is you want to accomplish? Unpack it. Leave it where it is. If figuratively, literally, whatever. If it's literally, take it, donate it to Goodwill, whatever. If it's figurative, think through that, and that's where a coach can help support and call out those things as they show up. Another is self-care. For the individuals I coach, once again, they're professionals doing whatever, entrepreneurs, directors, VPs, CEOs, whatever, and oftentimes they're not focusing on self-care because they're prioritizing other people, prioritizing business, travel, and that in itself brings an energy where they're resentful. And when I ask them, who is standing in your way from taking a dance class, getting up at 6 o'clock or whatever time, exercising in the evening, going for a run, taking a self-help class or whatever, ultimately it is them, but they're so afraid as to how they're going to be judged by others around them. And then I remind them that it's starting with self-judgment. Self-care is not selfish. It's important. There's the cliche of when you're on a plane and what do they tell you with the mask? Make sure you put your mask on first before you help someone else. Self-care is important, and make it a priority. People oftentimes will ask me throughout my life career, it's how is it that, because I was a single parent, first kid at 19, second at 20, worked full time, went to college part-time, and they're like, how did you do that and stay in the shape that you did? Because I made self-care, I love to run. So I would get up in mornings. If it was this time of year, it starts to get light out by about 6:30. I'm getting up, going for a run, coming back, make sure the kids are ready, heading off to school in the evenings. I had class, but it was important for me to do what I enjoy doing, and that's running and making self-care a priority. I'll reference my husband again. He got me this T-shirt that says, "I'm happier after a run," and it's very true. Very true, and I know that. So if I'm in a bad mood and he's like, "Did you go for a run today? Did you work out at all today?" No, I didn't. Yeah. It's like giving me a bottle. Take time, go for a run, kind of thing, right? Go for your run. So self-care is not selfish. It is necessary. Prioritize that. Prioritize it and be self-aware. The language of awareness is used. It's be aware as to how you are showing up. Be active, listen, be engaged. With coaching, it is about that awareness, supporting clients and being aware of, as I said earlier, what's holding them back. And most importantly, it's about what you want. There's, the saying out there, being authentic, being true to yourself. And is that be who you want to be, not who someone else wants you to be. And you can build connections in that way. I know early on in my career, especially as a single parent, I was so worried about fitting in and corporate, and eventually, perhaps part of age, but I know definitely going through my certification program, I started being more true to myself even in the work environment, and the individuals that I was blessed and fortunate to support as part of the team that reported to me, they would often say, you know, you're just so authentic, so true to yourself. And I'm like, that's who I am. And if you're not showing up in the manner that you want to show up, then that limits you as well, because you're looking to be who you think others want you to be. And I think the truth is most of the time people aren't as focused on you as you think they are. It's you in your head. So that's what I have. You guys are looking for it.
Because I thought you're taking notes, so
I don't have any questions. I'm like, so what is your zodiac sign? No, I don't have any questions.
I'm an Aries.
Oh, Aries. Okay. So Aries are pretty, I don't know, they're pretty, not say stubborn.
Can be. It's all sorts of terms. They make for very effective leaders.
I give you that. They're great shoppers. Oh, Tish.
Oh, Tish.
Shoppers,
Oh, yeah. If that's the case, then yeah.
Oh.
Not me.
No?
I don't like to shop.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
No.
So run is basically a part of your therapy. Is your, like, whenever things stressful, you don't. Some people shop. Some people shop. Some people
eat.
Yeah.
eat, drink, smoke, or whatever. You just run.
Running is my thing, or working out. I prefer to run, but like I have a rowing machine at home.
Oh, do you?
I have weights. I have a stationary bike, and I've found for me my best ideas come particularly when I'm running.
Okay. Are you gonna run this marathon that's coming up Saturday?
No. I run
Didn't she know? Like, wow.
because I get that question a lot. People are like, do you run marathons, half marathons? And I tell them no. I run because I enjoy running. And for me, it may not be true for everyone, but I tell people to train for a marathon, that seems like work.
Oh, that part.
And it takes out the enjoyment for me. I mean, on my own, I've run a half marathon. I haven't done it competitively. If I get up and feel like I want to be Forrest Gump one day and just run because the weather is nice, temperature is right, and I'll run and be like, okay, now I got to run back home. And depending, I know at one point I've run a half marathon, but it's because I wanted to and I enjoyed it.
Now, were you a track star in high school, college, or?
I was not a star.
Or you
And I ran track.
Oh, you ran track. Okay. Well,
And that's probably where it started. It was just running from my older brothers or my older brother and sister, siblings, they can have that little rivalry and, oh, you did this to whatever. So running from them, that's where I got to start. Oh. But as you two siblings look at each other. And then just in school and doing it, I was one of those where, hey, I'm a sprinter, and coaches are like, we're going to put you in long distance. And like, yeah, I'm a sprinter, but that helped me to get to where I am today, where I enjoy running long distances. Pretty much every run I do, my basic is, in essence, running a 5K. Over 3 miles every time I run.
You said 5K?
Yeah, which is 3.1 miles.
Oh, okay.
That's my starting point. And from there, like I said, if I want to have a Forrest Gump moment and just run until I'm tired and walk back, I'll do that.
Okay.
When someone is having a session with you, what does that look like? Are you doing on the phone, in person, virtual? Like, what would a session look like for someone who's interested in wanting to be coached by you?
Great question. Most of my sessions are via Zoom. Okay. Because the majority of my clients are not in the area in Kalamazoo. And even the few clients that I've gained, that I've been blessed and fortunate to gain in the area, oftentimes because they're working professionals, once again, it's via Zoom. I've had a few sessions in person with the clients in the area, but once again, most of the time it's in Zoom. And a session will last anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. Okay. And it's really, once again, that client bringing whatever topic they want to. I have a lot of clients who, they'll reach out and, they'll have a session. It's like, Sheila, I feel really bad. I haven't reached out to you. I can't think of anything related to business that they want coaching around. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be business. It's a coach. It's to support you in whatever it is that you have going on. So once again, the expectation is they come to the session with a topic for us to talk about and what they hope to have accomplished by the end of that session. Some clients, depending on, I'll say the intensity of the topic and their objectives and everything, sometimes it may carry over. Once again, the client set what that session looks like for them, and we'll go through accountability, like how can I support them, how do they want to be held accountable to some of the goals that we've set for the next session, and they may tell me for the next session I want to pick up where we left off. Now, going into that next session, because I take notes, I don't start out that session by saying, last session you said you wanted to talk about X. I start out by saying, what do you want to talk about? And if they say, I'm not sure, I don't really have anything, then I'll bring up, well, last session, we worked through this or talked through whatever it may be. How likely is it you'd like to continue with that? And sometimes, oh yeah, I forgot. Yes, I definitely want to continue talking and working through whatever it is that they started with.
Now, do you do mostly group sessions or just individuals?
Mostly group. I have done, mostly individual. I have done some group, like 2-3 people, from a company where maybe the team isn't getting along well. There's something not working, and that's where coaching experience within corporate, the tools I gained from my certification and my HR experience, where I can bring folks in a room and listen and navigate and give people create that safe space. That's the other thing as a coach. I'm creating a safe space, no judgment. It's confidential. But with those groups, it can be, maybe someone's not performing, and they're not performing because their boss is holding something against them from 10 years ago, and this person wants to be promoted, and the boss is expecting things. So that's actually a real life situation as well. So working through that and listening and pointing out.
So it's never a seminar with like multiple, like thousands of people? Or
Not yet.
assembly?
Not yet.
That far
Thank
back?
you for putting that in the universe.
Okay, cool.
That's a possibility.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Where I can, I don't know if it would be coaching people. It's providing them with tools, techniques that I've learned, I've gained, and just, the certification program that I went through, I'm trained as what is known as an energy leadership coach. And that is which we focus on, as I said, it's creating awareness, but it's really how you show up. So the energy that you have that may be holding you back or propelling you forward. As when I talk to people, and I think you and I may have talked about this, it's energy attracts like energy. That is a direct quote from the certification program that I went through. So if you've ever been around people and someone approaches you and you just feel like, oh, they're like, Eeyore holding you back, like you just don't like it, you're picking up on their energy, and yours is not that. So instead of matching their energy, you may step away, find a way, oh, I'm gonna go get a drink, I have to go to the restroom, because you're feeling that, and that's not who you are. So there's 7 levels of energy, as I'm trained on. I tell people there's more, there's less, depending on whatever coaching certification you go through. But it's really, there's an assessment that I can do, that I do with all clients to assess their energy. And then I can use that when I'm coaching them as to how they're showing up in the session. I might ask, what energy level do you think you are right now? What's showing up for you? Why do you think, what likely led to you that discussion with your manager not working out? How did you approach it? What energy do you think you were in when you walked into that conversation? How did you feel coming out? So we can assess and talk through that. So I use that in the sessions as well.
Okay. Do we mention how we can get in touch with you as far as, or address, a card, or all that beautiful contact information?
So the name of my business is SFG HR Strategies. I actually set that up back in 2010 when we were part of the Great Recession. So it sticks. So it's SFG HRstrategies.com, and people can email me at Sheila at SFG HRstrategies.com.
Say that. It's like, you do like auctioneer.
Sorry. I do talk fast. I apologize.
I
It's Sheila, so that's SHEILA, at SFG HR as in human resources.
Okay,
Strategies.com. And SFG stands for Solutions for Growth. So
Solutions for growth. I like
Yep.
that. Solution. I like that.
So as I say, I set this up in 2010 looking to do HR consulting, and then I found with stepping out with coaching, I'm like, God is good. So that
Amen.
SFG served me well, because coaching is helping with solutions for growth.
When you do your sessions, do you have a preset amount of sessions that a person has to do? Do you have a set of price that you have? Do you break your hour sessions versus half an hour sessions, or hour sessions versus 45-minute sessions? Like, how would someone take in consideration what it looks like to be able to get a life coach for themselves, for your particular business? Because we're all different in how we go about our life
Yep.
coaching.
Yep, agreed. So for me, as I said, sessions are typically 45 minutes to an hour. I don't hold clients to that.
Okay.
I do look to be flexible. Sometimes I'll have clients who, we meet and I support them, talk them through whatever it is in 30 minutes. And then I'm like, anything else? They're like, nope. Okay.
Okay.
And I look to be flexible with that. When I first started this, it was set amount of sessions, they would expire. I really look to decide what that looks like for clients. I've learned to be flexible, to truly meet people where they are. So I had one client who was referred to me by another client. The client was mentoring her, and the mentor was just like, my client was like, you need Sheila, kind of thing. And so with her, for what she was experiencing, I set her up with bi-weekly sessions for 3 months,
Okay.
because it was something that seemed urgent, and looked to support her through that. I have another client that, based on where she is and what she's looking for support with from a client standpoint, it's a 12-session package, and some coaches will have them expire. I look to keep them open because, once again, my clients, especially when I was working full-time, they're working as entrepreneurs, CEOs, whatever, their own business, within businesses. It seemed unfair, at least in my mind, to have those sessions in when it's hard to get things on. So the sessions, 12 sessions is typically what a lot of clients will do. And once again, they don't expire. So I keep track of that.
Okay.
And I'll let clients know where they are with those sessions. And as it gets close, I let them know and see if they want to continue and what that looks like to do so. And as I mentioned, the client that I've had for 4 years, actually I have 2 clients now that I've had for a while, where they started out similar 12 sessions, and they could use them however they want. Some start out bi-weekly, and the 2 clients that I have now, it's maybe once a month. There's one that will, as I said, call me when she's like, Sheila, I need your support. I need you. It's like, okay. And so then they pay me. I'm like, okay, you know how to pay me. And they pay me before the session, and we have the session.
Okay.
How does that answer your question?
It did. I
Okay.
mean, and hopefully for the community who's
Yeah.
watching, considering, like, you know what, maybe I can do, or maybe I should, or maybe I should prioritize this and know what does that look like.
Yep.
Go ahead, Leon.
I was gonna ask, can anyone call you at any time, or there's like a set like time they have to call you for the sessions, or it's pretty open or flexible? Your flexibility level, how's that with your
calling her at 2:30 in the morning. Hey, Sheila, I'm thinking about, before I go to work tomorrow, should I wear the blue shoes or the red shoes?
I need your support. So going back to what I said about self-care, I'm available to my clients because I get up early. So I'm available to my clients from about 7 in the morning to really I've gone up to 10, 11 o'clock.
At night? Oh.
Yeah, actually she's now a former client, text me at 12 o'clock in the morning the other day saying that she wanted to talk with me, but then she texted me right back. I was sleeping. But when I saw him the next morning, she sent a text immediately, like, never mind. I think I know where I am. I figured it out. And my text to her was, when do you sleep? And she responded back with some things. I'll reach out to her, not necessarily for coaching, but to support her in that self-care, because what she reached out as far as response, like there's opportunity there for her to take some steps so that she's not waking up at 12 a.m. in the morning thinking about being shorted on pay and all these other things. So yeah.
I was on my way here was thinking about people who have an excuse for every solution and thinking like they should get a cat or a dog.
Get a what?
Cat or a dog or a pet, because how you can talk to someone and you can give them suggestions and solutions, and they have a problem for every suggestion, a problem for every solution. So I come to the conclusion that they just want to like wallow in whatever they're in. And the reality is, in those cases, I'm thinking you just need someone to listen to you. Your cat can listen to you.
Don't listen well.
Yeah, my cat, depending on your cat, you got to get the right, depending on the cat. And first, people don't listen well. And people don't want to hear people complain all the time either. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can pay somebody to listen to you complain, or you can get a dog. You get a puppy, and okay, well, get a spider. You know what I'm saying? Like something that you can keep in the cage. It can't run, and you can just like.
Torture.
Yes, and it's also torture for someone who, we were having this conversation where you're like, this person, every time I talk to them, they're draining.
Oh yeah, we did.
And the reality,
that's an energy level.
Yeah, and the reality is like, you know what you need in poor puppy, poor cat, but poor humanity, that one, you need to get this out, and two, everybody is not for that. And being able to, like they say, a horse keeps a secret, they'll never tell your tale. So.
Horse.
Yeah,
Where you hearing all this stuff from me?
Man, you might need to get out from underneath the rock that you, like maybe in a cave or wherever you hang. First of all, I'm scared of horses, and so I'm not getting on anybody's horse. I'm not talking to anybody's horse whisperer, but I have always heard people say like, that's why they like their horses, because they could tell their horse all of their, or their journal. Like they could tell their journal, their horse, anything they wanted, and it'll just stay with them. So people say that. So again, back to a cat or a dog or your pet iguana, to just have something, because some people are constantly like Debbie Downers. Mm-hmm. Some people can like constantly be like, in my life coaching, we call them saboteurs.
Yep.
Well, like
and so, yeah, and so there's people who kind of like, no matter what you tell them, like, I'm thirsty, we'll have some water. Well, the water's not cold enough, add some ice to it. Like, well, it's still not cold enough, like, add a few more ice cubes. Like, there's people who have.
It's not bottled, it's not filtered, it's spring, it's, yeah.
And you're like going on and on and on with a person when it's like, do they even want a solution? Or do they just want to talk? Or do they just want to feel this? And so that is as I would drive, like, you know what, you need a cat. You need a dog.
That's torturing the animal itself.
Yeah, and it's also torturing.
Get a plant instead, so get a plant.
Okay, well, talk to your plant, because you're right. But at least the eye contact from your puppy or your cat or something, because I do think that sometimes. I know, and neither does the person that's sitting sometime next to you, or neither is the person that you met, that you caught in the grocery aisle, and you're just like ranting off of like all of your tiny violins at that. A lot of times they're just like tiny violins compared to the bigger scheme of things, and everybody has problems.
Really, yeah.
Everybody's going through something.
Look at them as problems.
Yeah. or everybody's, and some people are going through more than others during that time, you know. So at the end of the day, you never know. So when somebody's like dumping on a person,
Okay, I'm not gonna mention any names.
okay,
Because we knew a person that had a dog. And
okay,
that person was very depressed person. And the dog wasn't like bubbly. Remember, the dog wasn't like bubbly.
okay, we don't have to go through names, but I don't
You know,
remember the
dog-
comment.
the dog saying they had an issue itself.
I've seen people where they like, oh, I
So
feel
you don't
fed,
wanna
fed,
dump-
fed, fed
That's
for
why
the
I
dog.
cannot understand support animals. So you don't ever see a support cat.
Yeah, you can.
It's
You got to
never
get the
happened.
right cat.
No,
You know, people
no,
always
no.
say, but they just haven't had the right cat. If you have the right cat, because cats are calm, Egyptian people love their cats.
I know. But
So
you
there's
can't
obviously
tell
some type
cats
of
they're
therapy, a
fine.
therapeuticness
Cats
to,
don't care.
they purr. Cats do care.
I-
You got to find the right cat. You really do. Like if you find the right cat, or the right cat finds you, or the right bird finds you, sometimes like you have to find each other. Like you can't always just pick it and assume. Like sometimes you have to go and the one who walks up to you, that's yours. Like I think there was a thing that I seen with like people.
Same with dogs.
Yep, it was like a dog adoption agency where everybody sits there, they let the dog loose. And the dog runs to the person. Whoever the dog chooses
Uh-huh.
gets to go home with the dog because the dog chose them. And that's one of the things about when you adopt a bird too. Like if you adopt, because people like buy these fancy birds. And if you don't have the right personality, a bird is terrible to have. Like they're often put the big parakeets and all of those fancy birds, the cantus, people take them back often because they find out as pretty as they are, they're not good pets. But they say if you go into like an adoption sanctuary, which is the best option, if it lands on your shoulder, you can take that particular bird home. But don't just, yeah, because it chose you. So that's often one of those things is like having that right connection, like Jazzy Boo, you know what I'm saying? Like she found me, I found her, like, you know, say it was my dog, my Rottweiler. Yeah, like it was like that connection. So, and my vet said, you'll never find another one like this one. The connection that you and her have, you won't, that is it for you. Like you can have another one, and we have another dog now. She cool. She sits under my feet while I'm working all the time, but she's
like, she cool.
She is. She's not my Jazzy Boo.
Like Jazzy.
She's not. And so that's why I say like sometimes people need that because they need love. They need a deeper sense of love, a deeper sense of connection, a deeper sense of, and that has nothing to do with with what I'm mentioning as far as my life coaching. I'm just talking about people in general, like people doing the self work for themselves as adding to a life coach, because I'm a firm believer that you're right. Having a life coach, adding a life coach to your life is a beautiful thing. Adding a lot of things to your life can be beautiful things. Journaling, exercise, you know, those things can be beautiful things, but love, you know, and I think that a lot of people are like missing love, or they have an expectation of love in relationships, because with a partner, you might be expecting a certain something from this partner that they can't give you, but your pet, you know, like that
Unselfish.
yeah, you can kind of get what you're expecting from he or she or them in that capacity.
Well, you're gonna want some feedback. So, do you have a pet yourself?
I do.
What do you have?
I have 2 miniature pinchers.
Oh, they are so cute. You, Pippi. Remember Pippi? Pippi found you in the parking lot, and you like woke me up. I was like 7 or 8. And you like woke me. At least 9. You like me like I was like, wake up, wake up, wake up. Look what I found, and it was Pippi. Yeah. So it's that, and I just kind of see like people walk around sometime and they really just need to let their light shine. They're kind of walking around with a darker cloud. It's a bigger issue than something that you can kind of even digress them with as a life coach, as a counselor, as a therapist. Like sometimes they're just looking for love, and pets are a great way to like get that. Like we have a mutual friend. I'm like, she need a pet. Like, you know, so like when you talk to these certain people, it's like, I don't want to do this with you, you know what I'm saying, for 2 hours, and I'm not on the clock and I'm not on payroll to listen to someone's problem. Go tell your iguana.
Or go get a fern or a cactus?
No, because they said that about plants too, that if you talk
Plants
back
can
to
pick
a
up on
plant,
the energy.
it'll start to like die.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
that's true. That's
water
true.
becomes ugly, you know, so you can't even talk to a cup of water, you know. your icicles aren't pretty anymore if you're not telling it, I love you and you're beautiful and you're the prettiest green I've ever seen. Like you need, so you can't even.
I guess if you can handle without feedback, because sometimes it's good to have trade energies with feedback.
And that's the life coaching portion, or a therapist, or your church, or your preacher, or a best friend. Like if you need the feedback, but sometimes people just really just need to like deal with that inner that neglect that they feel. It's a inner, like it's so deeply inner that you just like need a hug, or you just need, like I seen a lady playing with her baby pig. And it was, and the thing about the pig, and I was saying, well, like, this pig is gonna be a hog one day. Like, this isn't like a pot-belly pig. Like, she like has this little pig, and it's adorable now. But I'm like, your hog is gonna be like 5,000 pounds one day, and you're like carrying it and like got a little backpack for it. And I'm like, sister, you and this hog one day. So I mean, and then you kind of talk back to them, especially because some people talk back. Like you get the response from your pet that you want because you give them your voice. Like, aren't you the cutest? Yes, I am, Mom. Yes, I am, Dad. I missed you too. Like they didn't say it, but you in your own mind got that affirmation that you were looking for. With your pet. Saying, I just think it's so adorable. You have miniature pinchers. Aw.
You're my second set.
Oh. Boy, girl?
Both boys.
2 dudes. Oh.
I rescued them
rescued?
5 years ago now.
Oh.
It was 5 years in January.
Oh, okay.
So they're 6 years old. But yeah, it's actually technically my 3rd round of men pins. Before them, I had 2. And it takes a different type of person to have men pins that fight the characters. Yeah, it's like, it's like having a 2-year-old.
I have a shepherd. She's tough. I had a Rottweiler. My Rottweiler came with a halo. This shepherd, she tough. People say that shepherds are a little different.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't speak German, so I don't know what the communication thing is between me. And she's my daughter. Yeah, she's my daughter's dog, and that's exactly how I feel. Like, I love her. And she catfished me too, because I was expecting her to be like this mutt and little, and she's a 70-pound black German shepherd. Yes, and they were like,
all black?
With brown paws.
Oh, that was so cute.
She's adorable. She's super pretty. And she told me she was only going to be 30 pounds on her paperwork on the cage when she was adopted. And she's...
Somebody didn't know.
I think they knew.
They just wanted somebody
Because her background story was like, oh, y'all got her from a raid. And I was like...
A raid? Oh, okay.
Yeah. You definitely weren't going to get the men pins to protect your raid home. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she's every bit of that too. And I'm like, calm down, girl. So it takes different personalities. And I think sometimes that not to be hung up on a pedigree of something. And that was kind of the thing about the birds. It's like people think that, oh, I want a cockatoo. But maybe the cockatoo isn't what's going to choose you. Maybe be the lovebird that chooses you. So don't be hung up on, oh, I want, a Labradoodle. First of all, I think everybody who loves their Labradoodle, I think they're just that. I have not heard
their Labradoodle.
Yeah, so maybe, or.
I said I've not heard of anyone who doesn't love their Lab. Yeah, everybody loves them.
I remember, but my manager, she had went and got, what are those little dogs? They were like the it dog with the scrunch face. Yeah, it was like a pug thing that was kind of like in style, miniature bully. So she got something like that, and she I just had to have one, and she got it, and the dog didn't love her back. And I remember the dog would come and be in my office all the time, and she would be like, is she in here? And I'm like, yeah, she's in my lap. And she's like, and I could just kind of tell, you spent X amount of dollars for this dog because you wanted this particular pedigree, and you bring her into the office for you, and she's in my office in my lap while I'm working.
Drawn to you.
Yeah, and so I say don't worry about the pedigree often. Sometimes, yeah, if I could have a Rottweiler again, I'm definitely sold on the pedigree. But sometimes, like you said, with your mini pins, but sometimes, making sure that you just find that right connection, especially, like I said, even with a cat, finding the one that chooses you. When you go to the animal shelter, if you just sit in the shelter, that cat at the shelter will come to you. Yeah. Especially when it comes to cats, because they're funny, moody. You know what I'm saying? Some of them can be I don't want nothing to do with you. Other ones are I love you.
I know that was all.
No.
Or I don't want anything.
No, not at all. I've had some great cats. I've had some great cats in my life. Not that I'm crazy cat lady, but I've had some really, really, really wonderful cats. Remember Melvin? My cat Melvin? Yeah, he was awesome. You know what I'm saying? He did things. He rode in the car with me. like everywhere. Like I had him in college. Like he jump in that highway. We're back and forth a 5-hour drive, and he would be my buddy all the time. And that's what I say. Like some people, in addition to life coaching, needing something that is like tangible there, something that they can love, something they can be generous to, so that they can get out of their self so much. Like if you're a bad person, don't get a pet. But if you're just needing love and you just like, I have
Compassion,
yeah,
compassion.
then I definitely recommend that and highly recommend it. You know, in my industry, like I had people who, you know, because of my industry, like they experience grief, you know, and we're dealing with grief, and sometimes they talk about, you know, I need to lose weight. Like, okay, you know what? Like, let's get you a dog. And the reason why I say this is because now you got to get out. You have to take that walk. Now this forced you. This was beyond just here us sitting down with my notes and us taking notes together. This is, you got to take this walk committed to now the puppy that you love. And don't always have to get a puppy either. Like get a 7-year-old. You know, people pass away, they leave their pets behind, and someone always wanted. Having an older pet, there's a lot of benefits to, because one, they're potty trained usually. You know, their personalities are what they are. You know what size they're gonna be. In my situation, she can't move around in my living room. Like she's funny because she like has to like duck and bend because I have furniture. Never mind. That's my own little rant. But you know, taking those into consideration, sometimes giving an older pet a new home so that they can have that, and they might have had a story too. Like they're missing, you know, their original owner, and now they're in a new environment, and like, and grateful that, hey, you gonna let me come stay with you. Like I appreciate you too. So sometimes that bond can make the world a difference. And like I said, I've seen that with people who are dealing with grief, people who are dealing with childhood traumas and different things like that, or breakups are another time. You know, anytime you're dealing with like an emotional thing, and not a fly by night, because a pet's a commitment. They're family.
Yep.
You know, there's somebody that day in and day out, and they have an expectation for you, but allowing yourself to have that capacity to share in that space.
Agreed. And I would advocate rescuing, adopting.
Yeah,
my first
Yeah.
min pins, I went to a breeder, and then they passed away or whatever, and I was looking for more during COVID when dogs were really expensive, puppies in particular, and I wanted to stick with min pins because I know them and enjoy them, and I ended up learning a lot about puppy mills and horrible breeders. Not all breeders are horrible, but just doing your research. But there are plenty, to your point, of pets out there who, you know, would benefit from being adopted. So I said I would probably never ever go through a breeder again.
Now here's a question. Now, out of all your clients, have you noticed that many of them have pets themselves, or they probably just, or do you even bring that up in the subject? Or
Sometimes it will come up. I've had a client when, you know, on Zoom, and a cat will walk across the street, or I could hear it meowing, wanting attention from the owner, you know, during the session. So yeah, some of them have pets. They also have kids. You know, it's working individuals balancing
the balance.
personal and professional life.
They said something about like every child should have a dog. Have you heard that one? Like just because it teaches the empathy and
pet. I don't know, because everybody not dog people.
And everybody's not. Yeah, everybody's not cat people. Everybody's not dog people. Yeah, and I just said that because it's fur. You know, like having a pet. I don't know. I think it's kind of.
Guinea pigs. I mean, you got goldfish, guinea pigs. You got
Yep.
I don't know about a goldfish.
Snakes.
Yeah, I don't know about snakes.
Rats.
Because
we had a reptile show at Kalamazoo Expo. Oh, not off the subject because we just rambled. They had a reptile show at Kalamazoo Expo along with the record show. And this lady had it was part of Gecko family, only this big. She paid $180 for the thing. And
Okay.
it was part of the lizard was from the Pacific Islands,
Oh.
and she was so proud of this little thing. I thought it was a piece of clay, for real. Cause
It just sat there.
It just sat there, and it was like, I said, man, you paid $40 for that. She said, oh no, dear, I paid $180. I said, okay, what's your bad self? Do your thing, but you know, make yourself happy.
Yeah.
But you know, that's part of her support lizard or Geico, whatever that was.
Yeah, I knew a lady had a pet hedgehog.
They what?
Had a hedgehog.
I've known people that have.
They didn't.
Hedgehog?
See, but and she was like, it was a rescue. It was just a circumstance in a situation. She ended up with, she like, and I'm like, can I pet it? She like, it doesn't feel good to pet. You know, so she like, they're nocturnal. She's like, but she carried, like, she kept her pet hedgehog everywhere, like in the car, like that.
Okay.
I mean, because whoever really noticed that she had her hedgehog, like, but like you said, Leon, really anything. And I just see that some people dealing with a lot of loneliness and sadness, and I definitely think that they can like transfer some of that energy and love. Like you can get, because it will love you back.
Especially if you're not a people person. Because some
Yup,
people, a lot
yup,
of people
yup.
nowadays, unfortunately, people are
Yup, become-
compassionate, inconsiderate. They're
Yeah.
show no gratitude.
Yup.
Just. But there's still. I'm proud of you doing what you're doing because you're helping people out. And I
Thank
can
you.
see it's kind of it's glowing the fact that you're really happy. I'm so glad you found your true calling.
Yeah.
If I could say that.
Yeah.
It is like there's a lot of people haven't found their vision quests or their true callings and so forth. So it's good when you do find it and you just manifest it and just spread it and just grow along with your newfound growth, your new ground, your new vision, your new growth, your new goal, I should say.
And even with that, Leon, like, you mentioned like finding it, like as a life coach, oftentimes we help people to find that, like, what is your goal in life? Like, what is it that you want to do? Like, what is your calling, and like pulling that out of someone, because everybody has the answers in them anyways. The answer is not in us as a life coach. The answer is in you. The answer is in you. The answer is already there. The conversation in coaching is getting a person to speak it out loud.
Yep.
And like I said, we have,
Bringing that up.
yeah, our backgrounds are different. Like the certification I went through Yale University. So Yale University is the #1 life coaching certification that's offered. They are the designers. They are the first life coaching prototype is through Yale University. So that's my certification, and I'm corporate. So when I went through my certification, like the people who are going through me are like corporate McDonald's, Stryker, Pfizer, like that's the level of life coaching that I went through, because that is how life coaching became a thing, is through Yale University, and everyone else took that training and then they kind of added, created it for themselves. Like you mentioned how yours is set up. There's people who are set up as far as in churches. Some people like have church life coaches, marriage life coaches, couples, like you said,
Wellness,
sports.
yeah,
Yeah, sports. So
wellness.
there's different ones. And so, but one of the things that I know from what we coached as is that, for helping a person to find what is your calling, what is your purpose, and then tweak it to help the person to get to those, these are the steps you're going to need to take to get there, and holding them accountable and holding their hand through that process. Okay, this was the goal this week. This was the goal the following time we meet, so on and so forth. So that's what I seen. That's what I know from what I did from my training as a life coach. But I'm pretty sure all coaches across the board, that's pretty much the goal.
basic, yep.
Yeah.
That's the premise for it. And to your point, oftentimes with my clients, I'll set it up for what it looks like. I'll ask them, we're here today. If this coaching relationship, because I don't coach everyone, but if
that
we
part.
decide this works in 2 years, what would you say made this coaching relationship successful? So when I talk about the client where I pull out, I take notes on that.
Yeah.
So if we agree, 2 years from now, I say, this is what you said you hope to accomplish, and here we are. And every time it works. Another thing I'll ask clients, getting back to where it is they want to be, it's if you could have a conversation with your 16 or 17-year-old self, what would you tell that? What would you tell yourself? Kind of thing. And that helps people think back to when they were 16 or 17, what vision they had for themselves. And some people were like, I thought I was going to be a rock star. So I would tell myself, be a rock star, but get a full-time job for, something like that. You can still be a rock star. You can play guitar.
You are a rock star. Like
right?
that rock star in you is for now and forever. Like you are a rock star.
Get
Don't
a
let nobody
full-time job
tell
doing
you.
something else to help fund that dream, kind of thing. But oftentimes I can tell you, asking individuals, and I've even asked that question as an HR professional when I'm interviewing people, and it's amazing how many people will pause. And some people, I feel like I'm Barbara Walters or Oprah Winfrey, some people will be brought to tears when thinking about it and answering that question. And so as a client, for me, that's with the client, it's, asking them what shows up and how that may set what future sessions look like for them. But once again, they're always at choice as to what we talk about during each and every session.
You brought up something that's really interesting. You because that is true. If you decide to work with a client, what should a client look for if they are considering a life coach? Because as a life coach, you do have to decide that when you're sitting down doing that initial consultation, is this even going to be a good fit? Is what you're expecting something that is possible that, anyone can provide that service? Someone sometimes have to turn down clients. It's just in every industry. So if a person is considering becoming life coach, what are some qualities that you would say that a person should take in consideration when they're thinking about getting a coach?
It's really what they want. I'll go back to using the term energy, and it's broadly, in that it's making sure that coach kind of aligns with them. Like for me, when I turn around clients or turn away clients, it's because going back to your earlier point, they can be Debbie Downers and just seemingly stuck. So I'll spend a couple of hours talking to a potential client, looking to get to know them and deciding if I want to coach them. And if they're not showing slightest bit of enthusiasm, the will to do the work, to commit, I might tell them I'm not the one for them, but because I'm connected with other coaches, I will refer them to other coaches. I want people who are motivated, excited, aren't going to bring me down in their coaching sessions. I want to support you. Let's go. Let's do this, right? If they're like, oh, I don't know. I keep trying. I'm not progressing. And that's the other thing. If I do decide on a client because they show up in that way and perhaps they're feeding off my energy, if we get into sessions and they're not doing the work, if they're late to sessions, if they're not doing the work, I have no problem having discussions with them that I don't believe they're committed to this. Mm-hmm. So it's perhaps best that maybe coaching right now isn't right. Maybe someone told them, you need a coach. Mm-hmm. Not everyone needs a coach. They benefit from having coaching. Yep. So it's, once again, going back to someone telling them how to live their life instead of them choosing what's right for them. So if they don't show up, then I have no problem saying, this is not working. That's part of my agreement with them. You may have been trained the same way, in that here's what I expect of you, here's what you're getting out of me, and if you don't show up and stay committed in this process, I have other clients that I've set aside that are waiting. Let's figure this out, and if we can't, the relationship ends.
I think you gave us a 3-minute warning. Yeah. So can you please give your information to the world?
Yeah.
To the world, to the universe, to the galaxy. Again, to Sheila.
Yep. Once again, my name is Sheila. I actually say Sheila D. Lipsey because there's a Sheila E. Lipsey out there, way more successful than I am. She's a writer, all of that. So it's Sheila D. Lipsey. My company is SFG HR Strategies. Once again, the SFG stands for Solutions for Growth. And you can send me an email at sheila@sfghrstrategies.com. If you go to the website, there's a form you can fill out if you're interested in coaching, and I will be in touch.
Are there any last suggestions, recommendations? I know one of the things that we kind of connected with is advocating for women. Mm-hmm.
So that's a valid point. So throughout my working career, nothing solely against men, but
we love men. We love men.
I love to support women, and that's how Arlena and I connected. I tend to do various events for things that show up for me. I recently did a self-defense class, a women's self-defense class. I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was awesome.
I've done many throughout my lifetime, and this is one where the tools that were given definitely stick with me. They were easy. So yes, I look to bring women in. It's kind of networking. It's also to self-care, do things that perhaps they never thought they would do. I did a golf outing with Arlena and some others, the Harrington team. Shout out to the Harrington team.
Shout outs.
What else have I done? I've done quite a few things.
Yeah, we had another networking event.
Yeah, networking event. Yeah. So they've been popular, and I love for them to grow. I'm considering tossing it out there for women. I'm in talks with someone to host where she can talk about menopause.
Okay.
And it's something that all women, I think, will go
Yeah,
through. I
yeah.
believe we'll go through. It depends on timing, and I
Yeah.
think it's important even
Yeah.
for young women to understand, because we're not talking about
That's
it
true.
enough, and what
Yeah.
women go through, and understanding. It was suggested that I invite men to that, because
You
it's
should,
important men
because
to understand.
Us men need to know.
That's
I
fair.
mean, for
Yeah.
real.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll need to know everything, but just the basics.
To
just the-
understand, because
Yeah, yeah.
there's stereotypes,
Yeah.
there's misunderstandings
Yeah.
associated with it. So I'm working on that. Hopefully we're in April. Maybe I can pull it off in May, June timeframe. So
It's more than just
maybe-
the song menopause. It's actually a condition. For those who know the song
Yeah.
menopause by Climax, it's a condition.
something we as women will go through.
Yeah.
Yes, and we don't talk about it enough. And there's a lot
Hot
tied up with it.
flashes
Yep.
and-
So yes, I call it where there's a will, a woman in leadership, and it doesn't mean you have. As women, we show up in our households, life. We're natural leaders just by our presence. So where there's a woman in leadership, there's a way, and I'm looking to support women in that journey, that way.
Well, thank
you for bringing that up. I forgot about that.
No, of course we're gonna talk about that, Sheila. Thank you. Is there anything else, Leon? Do you have any?
No, I got all that.
Leon, your life is ready. Like, it's official. Sheila, you fixed him, and not that you were broken before, but a couple things we could have.
Always learn. Always good to learn. Always good to learn.
Bring a hammer.
He does have a lot of notes. That's awesome. I thank you for this opportunity.
Maybe we can have her on again. And,
Yes,
we
yeah,
can
a
have her-
follow-up.
Not just your first time. We want to
Yeah,
Okay.
for
I'm open to
sure.
it. I'm
Yeah,
open to
yeah.
it.
a follow up. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leon 2.0. Leon, once you took these notes.
Yeah. 'Cause that's- yeah.
Next
Hey,
one,
Sheila,
it'll be
think
taking
about-
Leon through a coaching session for everyone to see and experience how it works.
It works. Look into the little eye.
Wait a minute. Since you brought that up.
Anyways, you give it. Don't you owe me Oh, you.
So, this is Sheila knows, or-
That is not what I do. That is not what I do. That is not
No, you don't.
Okay.
Look into my eyes. No.
Oh, God bless you, and praise the Lord. To God be the glory for all things, and for everybody who's taking the time to watch the show today, to your beautiful family for sharing you with us. Thank you, Leon, for being here. Bill,
Thanks,
to
Arlena.
the
Hey,
Kalamazoo.
Bill.
Thank you, Bill. Love you,
Thank
Bill.
you, thank you.
And thank you, Sheila, for sharing your knowledge
Yeah.
and your
Absolutely.
services.
Absolutely.
And that's all I had to say.
What's your thing, Leon? Say, well, plant a tree, and
Oh, plant a tree, make new friends every day.
there you go. God bless
That's
you
awesome.
all.
Thank you.
You didn't go in your notes.
Yes, I did.
You did? That's a little flat. I have more notes than you have. Oh, you already went. Okay, you got all your major points off the.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And we all adopt a grandparent or adopt a